A 5-year-old has been invoiced $24.14 for not showing up to his classmate's birthday party. Now, this is in the UK, and Derek Nash and Tanya Walsh were pretty surprised when their little boy showed up at home one day with a brown envelope in his backpack. The brown envelope had the invoice, and apparently they had RSVP'd for a birthday party, but had the audacity to not show up. It turns out that cute little boy there was double booked. There were 2 parties, and he RSVP'd for both, and you know how it all ended up. He went to one party, got fined for not going to the other party.
Oh, the horror.
Now, this is amazing because the parents were outraged when they got the invoice. Like, we're not going to pay this. So the father actually went to the mother who threw the party and was upset and invoiced them and said, no, I'm not going to pay this. This is ridiculous. And now the mother is taking the couple to a small claims court.
Well, the mother's name is Julie Lawrence, the bad mother, the mother who should lose custody. I think we all agree on that. And now she's going to go to small claims court, where I hope that she gets hammered with having to pay their legal costs, everybody's legal costs. Because she also somehow managed to, I'd hammer her with, you touched my son's backpack, you put something in my son's backpack.
Ooh,
I don't know if there are drugs in there. I don't know what happened here.
I want
whatever.
You planted on my son.
Right. I'm suing you. You touched my son. I'm suing you for $10,000 for touching my son. I'd come back overwhelmingly against his mother. Hey, man, you threw a kid's party. Somebody didn't show up. Tough shit. Move on.
Yeah, I agree with you. Sending someone an invoice is crazy. But can we just talk about party etiquette a little bit? And I'm specifically talking about weddings, not birthday parties. Like, okay, so you had to spend $24 on someone who didn't show up. It sucks, right? But you're going to live. Okay, and if you can't afford the $24 or
don't throw the party.
Don't throw the party. I know it sucks, but that's just the way the world works. People are dicks. It gets a little more serious when it comes to something like a wedding, right? Because weddings, people spend like $150, $200, sometimes more than that per plate. And people just don't show up. They RSVP, you have a space available for them, and they don't show up. And look, there's no skin off my back. I haven't gotten married, so I'm not a victim of this. But I see it happen all the time, and it's really, really inconsiderate.
It's incredibly inconsiderate, but then you don't turn around and say to your friend who you invited to your wedding, hey, you owe me $150 for that plate that you didn't show up for. You know, that's not what friends do. That's just way outside the line of etiquette.
I don't know.
Yeah, people should be nicer about their
But I mean, what if? But most of the time, I don't know, most of the time, sometimes if people don't show up, it's because something came up. Like their kid got sick or life comes up. Like you should factor it in. Like 5% of the people aren't going to show up, and you just got to roll with that. Like, it doesn't matter.
God, weddings suck.
Yeah.
They really do. Like, and to know that not just one person, not just 2 people, but maybe like 10 people are going to RSVP and not show up, and then you have to pay for their dinner. That makes me livid. And don't get me wrong, I wouldn't invoice anyone, but it's just like the inconsideration that.
But I mean, suppose something came up. Like, isn't there some, there are circumstances where you would understand, right?
Of course. So if someone gets sick or there's a family emergency, of course I'd be understanding. Sometimes people just get lazy and they don't want to show up. Let's keep it real.
If it's Anna's wedding, somebody's going to come in there like going to be bleeding. I'm sorry, I didn't want to upset you. I'm sorry, I need to lie down and I'll need some water.